So I just wanted to drop a quick video on relocating. A little summary. I recently moved to Maryland back in June of 2018. I moved out here for a job. I received a job offer out here, and I knew that since 2016 when I first visited out here. Was that the first time I visited out here? So I visited out here the first time in 2015 because I had a conference, and my uncle lived out here. He lived in Bethesda, and I came here again in 2016 with my girlfriends, and we stayed in College Park at one of my friends at the time, her aunt's house, and I fell in love with it. And I knew from there on that I wanted to move out here. Then I came again. I believe that same year. At the end of the year, though, for Howard homecoming, and I was just like, okay, like I'm definitely moving out here when I graduate. So when I graduated, I got a job in Jersey, and that's where I'm originally from. I'm from New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl. You know, people play that club music, unpopular, but when I graduated from college in Jersey, I went to Rutgers. Okay, Rutgers Newark, but I went to Rutgers, and when I graduated, I got a job in New Jersey, and I kind of got comfortable there. It was originally, I was interning there at first, so it's not like a newfound job. I was interning there, and they hired me, so I got really comfortable there. I wasn't really thinking much about the moving. So my job in New Jersey ended up doing layoffs, and they gave my team 3 months, the procurement team, they gave us 3 months to find a new job, which is very generous of them because usually jobs just lay you off the bat, and then you have to leave. So that was very generous of them. They gave us 3 months, and within the first, was it the first month? Go girl! I'm sorry. No, but within the first month, I was applying for jobs, and I was able to secure a job out here. The crazy thing is, all the jobs I was applying for in New Jersey, I wasn't even able to find, like none of the jobs were calling me back. But literally the day I applied to the job out here, they called me that same day. Look at God. Evidently he needed me to come to this area, which I wholeheartedly believe. But so I applied for a job out here. They called me that same day. They're like, oh, your resume says New Jersey. Are you sure that you're willing to move to Maryland? And I was, of course. Like, what? That's like, I've been wanting to come to the DMV. Like, so I was with it. And I secured a job. So, the next thing was relocating and going about that. So within this video, I'm just going to talk about some of the steps I took and some of the steps I even didn't take, and some of the steps I would recommend that people take because I didn't take them. And they would be smart, they would kind of be smart before relocating. But yeah, I had 2 weeks. Like when they told me I had the job, they gave me 2 weeks to move out here. I'm here now, and I just want to talk about some of the steps that you should consider if you're looking to relocate. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I'm back, and we're going to talk about the steps it takes to relocate. So being the person that I am, I have multiple forms of taking notes, and instead of actually having my notebook into my notes, so I'm going to read it on my phone. Just in case y'all. So you want to relocate. I'm going to give you a few things that you should consider before I relocate. Number one, visit. Number one, visit new state and city. So the first thing you definitely want to do is visit. The first thing you definitely want to do is visit the city or state that you're moving to. Like I previously said in the first clip, I'm not sure if people have watched it, but I will repeat myself because I'm so nice. I visited DC in 2015, and I visited twice in 2016. When I first visited in 2015, I was out here for a conference, so I didn't fall in love with it. I was legit just in the conference meetings and hotel, regular stuff. When I came out here in 2016, we stayed at one of my old friends' aunt's house, and I also came here and had another for Howard homecoming. Both had me sold. I was sold on the DMV. just doing research on the successful Black women out here and how there's so many opportunities for young people, post college grads, I definitely knew that I wanted to be on TV. So visit new city and state. Number 2, that kind of falls into the new city and state, is consider your why. I know I've been talking to a lot. One of the reasons why I actually made this video, a lot of people have been reaching out to me in regards to moving. They're like, oh, I want to move to a new city. Like, how do you like your new city? So, one of my friends actually recently, I was talking to one of my friends, and he said that he wanted to move out here to get away from trouble. And what I told him, and what I'm going to tell you all, is don't try to move from somewhere because you're trying to get away from trouble. That makes no sense, because it's like if you are basically putting yourself in trouble, running away from it is not going to change anything. When you come out here, you're just going to be trouble. Like, so realistically, consider your why. Why do you want to relocate? What is one of my why that actually like pushed me? Like, why? My original why with the whole I wanted to move to TV with all the Black millennials and all the opportunities on the yada 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 yada. That was like original. That didn't push me to do anything. That didn't push me to apply for jobs or any of that. I got comfortable in my internship that became a job. So I was even applying for jobs out here. My second why became my job. Once I received that job opportunity, I was just like, oh, like, okay, I have a job opportunity. It was just, everything was falling into place. So I was like, this must be God. Like, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to go to TV. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons. That was my second why. You have come up with numerous whys. So, number 2. Research nearby schools. If you are looking to continue your education, I would definitely recommend researching the nearby schools. So like, what schools are near the city? What schools are near the state? What kind of programs do you want to look into? So based on the program that you want to pursue, what is that program for you? Yeah, for the most part. I personally, as of now, don't want to education. That's not really something that I did. I knew that it'd be smart to do if you are moving because you want to continue education. That's not fun. So just something to consider. Another thing, one of the pros about I received my job offer. So my job offer was kind of that, okay, you're definitely going. Once I accepted that offer, there was no way for me to call. Well, there probably was. That's just not the same person that needs to call back. Like, I don't even know this job. I changed my mind. Once I received that job offer, I started to tell my friends. And my friend who actually used to visit the DMV often, she was in the DMV group chat that she added me to. And thank God that I wasn't like nervous or anything. But I asked, does anyone know where I can find housing for like affordable housing? And they sent me a few links, and I was able to find a I live in a real nice street. I live on a busy street, granted, but I don't have children, so it's not like I'm scared of anything running into the street. But I was able to find a really nice apartment, and it's very affordable. And that was because I went and checked and asked the folks anyone where I can find apartments, and they sent me links and they sent me recommendations. So definitely, if you know someone who already lives in that city, definitely ask them to put you in one of these group chats if they're already in one. Or even just talking to some of the people from your job, because I know that was one of the things I originally did when they offered me the job. I'm like, okay, so where in what towns would you recommend I find a job in order to get there, in order to get to the job? And they also told me that, which none of them recommended this, the city I ended up in, but that's neither here nor there. They helped in some way. So definitely do that. Whoever you tell, if you really visit that city often, see if they're in group chats. That's a big thing. Groupies and stuff, so they're definitely probably in the DMV. Like if you move to LA, they're probably in the LA group chat. You know, wherever you decide to move, see if anyone's in the group chat that they can add you in, if you can ask for, recommendations or apartments, cities, anything affordable, because you don't want to move and then add all these extra bills on yourself based off of like the salary you think you're about to get. Because one thing I will say, my job gave me a good offer, and if the money is good, don't get me wrong, but the amount of taxes they take out here. Look, okay, so you definitely want to make sure that's another thing you check. I think that's on my list. if moving, check how much tax your new state will take from your salary. You definitely want to look into how much taxes that state will take, because although that offer might sound like it's really good, in like overall, after you take out the taxes, it might not be sustainable for whatever budget you create. So make sure that if you're going to, or you should be creating a budget that's next on my list, so we just lower it. Okay. So next is budget accordingly. So consider the cost. Like definitely consider the cost. This is so I like to relate to right within the 14. Okay. Within Luke 14 verse 28 it says, but don't begin until you count the cost. For who would begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there is enough money? So, budget. That brings us into budget. Let me just say, when you're making your budget, consider all the bills you currently have. And I think that's one thing that I guess I kind of fell off. If that wasn't something I considered, something that kind of started up. It's like paying back my student loan. It's like, that charge started coming. I was just like, what up? Like, oh, so this was going to happen like while I was drinking and married. You definitely want to consider the cost. If you pay your phone, make sure when you think you budget, you're included. If you have a car and that includes a car insurance and the monthly car note, you want to consider that. You definitely, wherever you move, like wherever you decide to move. So this is how everything worked out for me. I just okay. So one thing I want to say is that okay. So one thing I want to say is that when you find a business, so the way it worked for me, that's where I was at, girl. The way it worked for me is that I took a little intermission because my camera stopped. So I took a little intermission, got something, started a movie. So I'm trying to get back to that. So I'm gonna finish this video. I'm gonna do a wrap up real quick. What I was saying about my experience is that someone from that DMV group chat that my best friend added me to, when I asked, does anyone have any recommendations for apartments or anything, they sent me a link, and they also, just sent me a little information regarding the link. So the link was basically, it was to a list of all the housing available. This had about 50 listings. What I did was I went down the list and I called every single listing, because what you do with this list is that you call every single listing on the list and you find out if people have what you are looking for available. What I was looking for was a 1-bedroom apartment. I literally called every single housing, like all the housing on that list, regardless of how far it was from my job, because at first I was just looking for an apartment. Like I was just looking to see who had that availability within their building, and I was gonna figure out the work thing, after, but I was gonna figure out the whole work situation after. So I called everything. It was 50 listings on that. By the time I got to 48, that's when I finally found something. They had that 1-bedroom available apartment. They had that 1-bedroom apartment available. Once she told me that, I had already been able to see some of the units online. And another thing that I asked her, I was on the phone, I was like, which picture online would you say is the most similar to your 1-bedroom? And she told me. I was able to look at that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my application in just to secure this 1-bedroom, because I had to go through 48 listings to even find this. So let me just get it secured. So I secured that. I didn't have to, let me tell you how blessed I am, because I keep, this is God. It was no one else but God. Then, when I called, she said that they were having a deal going on, so I didn't have to put a down payment or anything. All I had to do was pay for my application. So I paid for my application, whatever. And I sent that in automatically. I think I sent that in the day of. And I looked at the pictures, whatever, and she also said she'd FaceTime me to show me the specific apartment that I would be getting. Look at God. Like, what? You ever got FaceTime to look at an apartment? Like, you usually have to go in. So she knew that I lived in New Jersey, and she was like, I could FaceTime you while I'm in the apartment. And I knew it wasn't anything fake or anything. I don't know. I just have faith. People be like, oh, you know, I be nervous, da da da. I'm not, that's not stuff I get nervous about. Like, I don't get nervous about stuff like that. I don't get nervous about being conned or anything. And I guess maybe that's why it's never really happened to me, is because that's not my thought process. Like, I'm never thinking, oh, this person they might trick me, they might take my money. Like, I'm not thinking like that. So I guess that's why that never happens to me. I think that happened to me like once in college when I ordered books off of Amazon. The book never came. Like, and that was like a $45 book. When she said she was gonna FaceTime me, I believed it. I believed that the apartment she was showing me was really my apartment. I had no doubts in that. I was completely fine with paying for the application. Like, not once did I ever feel like, oh, this might be fake. And it was on the government, the listing was a government listing. So, come on. So I had no concerns, no worries. And I'm just saying that as a disclaimer, just in case anyone's like, oh wow, like she just let them FaceTime her, and she believe them. Like, this is the exact apartment she FaceTimed. I'm in it. And she told me, I asked about the amenities, I asked about gas, I asked about electric, I asked about all that. And the reason why I even knew to ask about all that, because once again, this was my first apartment. I was coming straight out of my parents' home. So I didn't know much about apartment hunting. My parents wasn't with helping me because they didn't agree with me moving. One of the reasons why I knew what to ask was because all the calls that I made, they were constantly saying that on the phone. So I'm like, oh, well, this must be important. They were like, oh, well, you gotta pay, like, this amenities, this much. Or like, they would say amenities are included. Or they would say like, oh, electric is separate. Like, they would say stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, this is what I need to ask about on the next call. So that's kind of how I knew what to ask about. And I asked about security deposits, I asked about like down payment, because some people make you pay your first month's rent and all that. So I was asking, you know, I was learning all that as I was calling these different places. And I also think that's another thing. Just respect the process, because you never know what you're doing it for. All of those calls I was making that like didn't have availability, they were all able to tell me what I was supposed to be asking in the next apartment. If listing number 1 would have had availability, I would have never called those other apartments to see what else they had. Do you know what I mean? And I would have never learned, oh, you might have to pay for amenities, you might have to pay for water separately. I would have never known these things. That's just not something that I knew. That's not something I was knowledgeable about. So that's just me. So yeah, I got to 48. They had a listing available. She FaceTimed me, she showed me the apartment, and then I paid for the application. And the way it was set up is when I moved in on June 1st, because that was my official moving date. My official start date for my job was June 4th. That was the Monday. When I moved in on June 1st, I had to pay my first month's rent. So yeah. So I did that. So that's another thing about considering the cost. You want to make sure that you're looking to see if there's apartments available based on your income. Start a strategic packing plan. So when you do find that apartment, when you do have that budget and you see, okay, well, I'm able to afford all this and I have some money left over to play with, when all that comes together, you want to come up with a strategic packing plan, because now you're moving. So I'm going to just wrap this up because my camera actually keeps going off, and that's a little irritating. So just to do a mini review, 1, visit your new state and city, the new state and city that you're looking to relocate to. Number 2 is to consider the why. Number 3 is to budget accordingly, so consider the cost, like in Luke 14, verse 28. Number 3, well, within considering the cost is bills don't disappear, they just transfer. So, for instance, like I said earlier, if you pay your phone bill, make sure that when you're considering the cost, you're also including that, because it's not like that's just going to disappear. Find a place to live, ask about amenities and utilities costs, and what all is included. Research moving companies, compare the cost of those moving companies. I ended up just going with U-Haul because U-Haul was the cheapest. Because I was moving out of state, every single truck company would have been charging me to what seemed like very expensive to me. U-Haul was about $360. I felt like that was expensive, but once again, I've never moved before. So I had the U-Haul for about 2 days. Altogether, that cost about $360. I also touched on having a strategic packing plan. I did go on a vacation before actually moving. I got back 2 days before the day I had to move in. So before I left, I broke down my bed and I packed up my clothes in bins. And then outside of that, when I got home, all I really had to do was like pack any books or any extra that I wanted to take down with me. I also did a lot of shopping before moving. For like pots and stuff, any necessities. I actually have a list for that online. If anyone is interested in that list, it has like everything you will need. That will last you, when did I actually go shopping again? That will last you until about 4 or 5 months into your move. So I bought like all my toiletries, I bought pots and pans. I bought a lot of stuff. It's a long list. So anyone who's looking to move anytime soon, I can always send you that list. Just let me know and I can email it over to you. If anyone has that wraps it up for the most part. So if anyone has any questions about relocating, please feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me. You can DM me on Instagram. My Instagram handle, I like that word, handle. My Instagram handle is Simply Joe, SIMPLYJOOO. And you can DM me. I'm more than open to answering any questions you have. If you are relocating, like you're already halfway there, you already got your apartment, you already got your job, and you're just looking to know what are some necessities you should bring into your house, I can definitely send you that list.